in the House Financial Services Committee, several times we've offered amendments to strike funding for ACORN. Unfortunately, we were defeated in those votes. And then when the housing bill came to the floor, I think, I'm not sure if another amendment was offered. I think there was, in fact, it was defeated. You know what? This is their A-team. This is the people that get out and work for them. And some people think do it in a way that's not legal. But I'm with you that it's not just ACORN. There's a number of organizations that are receiving your hard-earned tax money that aren't working for purposes that you and I believe in. And so I share your anger. I want you to know I have supported those amendments. I'll continue to do that because, and we've put them on public record, making them vote, knowing that the amendment strikes funding for ACORN. We made them vote, you know, how they want to pick. They want to pick the American people or ACORN, and they unfortunately chose ACORN. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service all those years. When Republicans gain control of the House and Senate in 2010, will they be able, and will it be your agenda to reverse the damage of Democratic control and to return the power to the federal government at the very minimum necessary?
Well, I think that's a very good point. And we've been called the party of no, I would think we have to work very hard to make sure that the American people, if we're going to ask them to let us govern again, to be sure that we are the party of KNOW, that we know what the American people want. We know the principles that this country was founded on, and we know that in order to restore that, we have to not grow government, but we have to shrink government. And until we do that, we can't ask the American people.
Congressman Neugebauer, I'm Grace Rogers. I was very happy to have you in my classroom one time when I was teaching government before I was high school. And I'm glad to hear you're now supporting.
And you did a really good job too.
I'm glad to hear you're supporting exit strategies and being worried about trillions of dollars in debt. Wish you had done that when we were fighting a needless war in Iraq. That's a compliment. Since you're co-sponsor of H.R. 1503, commonly known as the birther bill, and you also voted for the H.R. 593, that was the 50th anniversary Hawaiian statehood bill. I want to ask you a simple question. You can answer with yes or no. And remember, I deal with facts. Can you answer this simple question? Do you believe that Barack Obama is a natural-born citizen, American citizen, and is the legitimately elected President of the United States?
Okay, thank you for that question. I'm going to answer your question yes or no, but I want to make, everybody in here may not know what the birther bill is. It is a very simple bill that a friend of mine in Florida, Mr. Posey, introduced. And it just says that, and it quotes the Constitution, that the President of the United States will be a natural-born American citizen, or natural-born citizen.
That's already in the Constitution.
It's in the Constitution. What we're unclear about is whether the Federal Election Commission, who is in charge of running federal elections, is actually verifying and validating that all of these candidates that come forward and run for president, are they making sure that these candidates meet the constitutional requirement of being a natural-born citizen. And so a couple of colleagues and mine joined in that bill of just saying, you know, Federal Election Commission, because there was some question about John McCain's citizenship. There was some question about the President of the United States, Barack Obama, Senator Obama's citizenship.
What is that? What is the question?
The question was he actually born in Hawaii? The other question was McCain, since he was born in Panama, was that meet the requirements? And so basically, it's a bill that says, you know what, we want the Federal Election Commission to follow the Constitution. We thought that was a novel idea. And so, to answer your question, I'm going to take the President's word that he has validated his citizenship, and so that he...
No!
But what I do think, in order to not have this kind of controversy moving forward, that future elections, that bill ought to pass, that the Federal Election Commission, who should, you know, the government is also held accountable for the Constitution. They don't always feel that way. but they ought to validate and make sure that future presidential candidates meet the constitutional test. And I don't think that's an unreasonable thing. And some people have all been out of shape by that. But you know, if you've been out of shape at me for following the Constitution, I'm not going to apologize for it.
Randy, my name is Connie Surratt. I had a very long thing to say, but I'm going to make it short.
Okay.
I believe that people are missing the core problem of rising medical costs. I believe it's twofold. We have to ask ourselves, why are people getting sick and what's causing medical costs to skyrocket? I think most of us agree that people are getting sick for the most part because of toxins in our environment. The majority of toxins are coming from chemtrails. And I noticed today that I did a research paper on chemtrails. For those who don't know, chemtrails is a term short for chemical trails, not contrails. Contrails, scientifically proven that they dissipate within 27 seconds. The research paper that I did concluded that such things as aluminum, nickel, and that sort of thing is being sprayed, and the biofeedback is also detecting. Okay, the biofeedback proves that cancer and mycoplasma pneumonia and those sort of things are showing up after these chemtrails. And I know that there's a bill placed by K. Bailey Hutchison, S517. They're using it to modify the weather. So can you help us to stop these?
Thank you for, and if you've got a copy of your paper, we'd be glad to receive that. You know, I think one of the things that you just mentioned is something that is very concerning to me about the current plan. And I want you to just look over here at this map right here. That's this chart that I'd walk over there, but I wouldn't have a mic. But we had some folks take the bill and try to figure out what this new health care plan looks like. Obviously, it's very complex. What the real question is this bill about the American people's health, or is it about saving money? And the question is if you're going to have a health plan, you needed to make sure that the primary focus is to keep America healthy. And we can do that by making sure that people understand how they can be healthier, making sure that we are doing research that helps treat people when they are sick, and maybe even help like the vaccines have, saved millions of children's life. And so we need to continue that kind of research. But here's what we have to do. Before we go changing paradigms, we have to have good science, and science that's validated before we start making policy. And unfortunately, in this country and a lot of issues, we've been making policy and then trying to go get people that will validate our decisions with the science. And that's not the right direction. Thank you.